Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. Coming up, we meet Raya Haffar El Hassan, who's the first ever female to be in charge of security in an Arab country after being appointed Interior Minister in Lebanon. Also, is the push for equality causing a crisis for masculinity? We talked to Canadian academic Dupuis-Déri, who argues that is definitely not the case. And the country that's behind the latest global trends in beauty products is now facing its very own beauty revolution as South Korean women begin to challenge the extreme pressure they face to look a certain way. But we begin in Lebanon, and in a region not renowned for gender equality, the nomination of Raya Haffar El Hassan as the country's interior minister is truly a first. She is one of 4 women who've been appointed to the 30-member cabinet, a record for female representation in the Arab country. Our Beirut correspondent Layla Milana Allen went to meet her during her first few days in the job.
Lebanon is seen as one of the most liberal Arab countries for women. But that freedom is more in terms of clothing and lifestyle choices than access to power. Since women were first allowed to hold office in 1953, there have been just 25 female MPs. Now, the country has its first female interior minister, one of the top jobs in government. Raya El Hassan is known for her no-nonsense attitude and has already made waves.
I'm known to be very transparent, not vague. I say it as I see it, and I would like to be very upfront with people. So, of course, I will play the political game, but not the traditional political game. It's a modern political game.
This isn't El Hassan's first time in government. As Minister of Finance in 2009, she brought the towering national debt down to its lowest rate as a percentage of GDP in the past 20 years. She's rumoured to be incorruptible and is cut from a different cloth than most Lebanese leaders.
The majority of women up till now who have served in the Lebanese parliament have been from political families, and most of them have been in parliament to represent male heirs, male relatives who have either died or been imprisoned. So she is not from a political family whatsoever, and that is remarkable.
Last year, a record 6 women were elected to parliament, but that's still only 4% of the total seats. El Hassan is pushing for a quota system in the next election. There are now 4 female cabinet ministers, including El Hassan, and she's determined to make it count.
I'm pretty confident that together we can collude in order to push forward the agenda that has to do with women's rights and issues.
Lebanese women are clamouring for change to a fistful of discriminatory laws, from the right to pass citizenship to their children to better sexual violence protections. If she's to tackle these on top of the ever-present security threat, El Hassan has her work cut out.
In April 2018, Canada witnessed its first ever incel attack when a man allegedly drove a van into pedestrians in Toronto, killing 10 people and injuring 16 others. Involuntary celibates, or incels, are an online brotherhood of men who say they are unsuccessful in their romantic attempts with women. The driver, charged with the killings, is said to be an incel. They often express extreme feelings of misogyny and hatred, and many online encourage rape, violence, and in some cases, the killing of women. Dupuis-Déri is a Canadian professor of politics at the University of Quebec in Montreal, who's written a book on whether masculinity is indeed under threat, and he joins me now in the studio. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
You've argued that so-called masculinity crisis is a myth. Why is that the case?
It's a discourse, actually. It's a rhetoric. It's a kind of propaganda, but it's not a fact. Our societies are still pretty much unequal with regard to men and women. But since at least 500 years in the Western world, men have claimed to be suffering from a crisis because of women, because of the women who are not keeping their place where we want them to stay, or because of the feminists, or because of feminization of the society.
And you say this dates back even to the time of the ancient Romans.
Exactly, and now it's everywhere in the world, in the United States, in the UK, in Australia, but also in Russia, in South America, in Africa. It's everywhere.
Is this not an inevitable response? You know, anywhere where people are in power are going to resent any perceived challenge to their status, aren't they?
It's exactly my claim. And we can see this with the racial issue, with the social issue, and here it's exactly the same logic or the same state of mind. It's a state of mind of, I would say, male supremacists. We have the white supremacists in the United States, for instance, and the male supremacists believe that when women are not staying at their place, it's outrageous. It's a scandal, and we are not having what we are entitled to have as men. And it's the basic of this discourse of the crisis of masculinity.
But has digital technology made it worse?
Digital technology is something used by social movement on both sides. The feminists use it. Me Too, the Me Too movement is an incredible success, I would say, for the feminist movement. But of course, the reactionary or conservative forces, such as those who I name masculinists, use it also to consolidate their network, to bring their message or their claims under the eyes of the public. So it goes both ways.
What is it going to take for men to truly relinquish some of their power? What needs to change?
Oh, I think the only solution is even a stronger feminist movement. The answer is on the side of the feminist movement. The men will change, I guess, if they are forced to change. They will not at one day wake up and say, "Oh, we did a mistake. We treated women wrongly." It's never that way that it happens in the history of the humankind. I would say I would give a extreme example, but the slave master didn't wake up one day and say, maybe slavery is not a good idea. It never happened that way. So some men or some white people in the United States were against slavery, or some men, of course, for different reasons, are on the side of the feminist movement or believe that men and women must be treated equally. But you need a strong feminist movement to make sure that things will change. But some men can relate to women, to their daughter, for instance, or their sister, or their partner, or their mother, and see that it's unfair.
Francis, thanks for coming in.
Thanks very much.
Now, across the world, step into any beauty shop and you're certain to see a bevy of South Korean products. The country itself is among the top 10 nations that have the highest rate of cosmetic surgery. But now a growing number of South Korean women have begun to resist what they see as extreme pressure to look a certain way, as Yenna Lee reports.
It's a rallying cry of many Korean women online. Escape the corset, meaning to break free from beauty standards imposed by a patriarchal society. They're turning their backs on extensive makeup routines and body-hugging fashion trends. This vlogger is documenting her new, simpler lifestyle. She says escaping the corset has given her more free time in the mornings.
Instead of spending time on my looks, I think about what I'm going to do today. I spend more time thinking about things that will actually be beneficial for me.
It's no easy feat to buck the trend. Korea's image-conscious culture means women feel looking their best helps them not only with their love lives, but also with their job prospects. This pressure for women to look a certain way has helped entire industries boom. Gallup Korea says a third of women between the ages of 19 and 29 have had plastic surgery. With medical tourism on the rise, Seoul is a global hub for the practice. Korean cosmetics, too, are all the rage. The K-beauty market made over $13 billion in sales worldwide last year. In the country where the 10-step skincare routine was invented, escaping the corset is a radical move. But the movement has attracted some unexpected candidates. Bambi Girl is a former makeup reviewer. Now she says she's had enough.
When I asked myself if I was doing this for my own satisfaction, I realised the answer was no.
It's not just makeup that's under the radar, but also obsessions with body weight and aging. Feminists promoting body positivity might still be a minority in Korea, but they've had enough traction for Cosmopolitan magazine to make a 50-year-old comedian their cover model last December. an unconventional choice for a fashion magazine, who named her as their most iconic woman of 2018.
And that's it for now. You can also connect with us via our Facebook page, that of course being France24.51%, or do send us a tweet at _51%. So until our next show, bye for now.